Well, Smile Mentor family, welcome to a unique episode that I know most patients never get to see anything like this. This is a behind the scenes, deep in the lab, creation of the teeth part of the process. So you guys have gotten to see all the different appointments for the scanning, the surgery, all the different aspects the different PMMA try-ins. And now we're getting to the point to where my finals are going to be delivered soon. So we had the privilege of sitting with Anders a little bit ago, going over my set of teeth, which is pretty unique, seeing your own teeth actually be made. But it was really cool to kind of see the artistic side of it. Now let's look at some of the technology side of it. Like how did all those appointments of scanning and all that kind of play into the actual making of my new smile? So Zach, thank you. Appreciate you taking a little time today.
Glad to have you here.
Okay, so walk me through. So this software
we're using here is ExoCAD. So this is one of the design softwares that we use. We also have 3Shape, and there's other softwares like InLab, but I prefer to work with ExoCAD. So what we're starting here with is when you came in after your 5 to 6 months of healing, they took that little wand that you talked about earlier and scanned inside your mouth. They also used a tool called the iCam 4D, which is photogrammetry, which is giving us exact location of those implants. So we're going to pair the intraoral scans with the photogrammetry scans, and that's going to give us what we're looking at here essentially. So on the
little domino pieces?
Yeah, the little dominoes,
dominoes that screwed in.
So they have dominoes, and then there's another brand called Pick, and they have it looks like a golf club. But
are you serious?
Yeah, but there's people on Facebook that show the picture. It looks like they just put a domino in their mouth, and that's what they're showing.
Okay.
But so if you look here, we have the actual scan abutment. So that's what was scanned in your mouth. Now we did the alignments in the iScan software, which is the photogrammetry software, and we output these STLs in the exact location, and then we merged it to your tissue. So now everything is correlated correctly. So now from there, once we turn off the abutments, we have your tissue, of course. From there, we design the actual bar, which is this. So we designed this bar, and this is going to be the structure for your teeth that we're going to put on there. So from there,
so this this bar is not the zirconia, because I mean I've done a lot when the lab started out. I had to learn a ton about materials. I had to learn about monolithic zirconia. We did the stress test. We did the different tests on this, and so I really became adamant about no monolithic zirconia. But what was unique is when we were talking about my case, that there's going to be zirconia involved, but that's not on the substructure. This is different, right?
Yes,
this is a
different
material that is lighter and has some flexibility.
Yep.
And allows, then you're going to place the zirconia over it. Is
Yes.
that kind of how that works?
Exactly,
So walk
yeah.
me through.
So like you were saying what we were talking about earlier with the full zirconia, when it breaks, right? So in this situation here, we have the substructure, and that's in the PEEK material, right? What we're going to do is we're going to treat this like if you went to the dentist and they prepped this, right? Like they made a prep, and we're going to put a crown on this. We're going to put crowns on each individual of these. And that way, if something ever does break, it's just fixing the crown itself, right? And things aren't 100%, but when it does, it's not starting over from scratch 100%, right?
Right.
So that's the beauty of this kind of setup. It's easy to fix, and in my opinion, I think it's going to last longer with that PEEK frame. So,
Okay.
but yeah, so this is the PEEK bar, and this is the design roughly, and then obviously your lower teeth here. So then from here, once we...
And let me pause a question, because it just came up. I had an implant that, sorry.
Oh, you're good.
I didn't know it was touchscreen. I had an implant here that was placed a while ago, and in discussing the case planning portion of it, it was, let's wait till we get your final restoration on the top before we do that on the bottom.
Yeah.
Do you know, I understand you're not a clinician, but do you know why they would do that?
So you had the implant placed here, I imagine, right? The reasoning for that is because if we design something, we're copying this occlusal plane here on your lower. That way we can kind of design something more ideal on the upper, because the upper is what you see, in my opinion. So, and I imagine also it's probably best for, like I said, just to make sure we have something ideal. We don't want to make anything too flat, but we want to make it more more anatomy. So we can come in here and design this ideally how we would like, which I'll show you in the next step. And then whenever we get this set in stone and everything's done, your implant's already healed by that point. Now we just design the crown to fit this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So from here, we have the bar. We're going to jump over to the design of the teeth now. So you have your teeth on your bar now. So essentially, I just combined your bar design and your tissue scan from the original design because they are in the same location, made it one file. Now this is my design, my jaw scan is what they call it in the software. So
this will be the pink portion. This is your gingiva, right?
So yeah. So basically we'll mill it exactly like this. And then the finishers, Andres that you talked to earlier and his team out there will come through here with some pink composite and layer that on there and give it life, make it look like real tissue. And you know, I think on your second appointment after healing, you came in and we took shades of your gums and of your teeth. So our goal is to make it look as natural as possible and make it match, of course. So we do the teeth design, and then these are all cement retained. So they're cement retained to the bar, but everything is still technically screw retained, which means at any point you can come in and we can unscrew it and take it off. And that's usually every 6 months for hygiene, roughly. So.